Good morning. It's Friday, August the 7th, and this is The Drill. Thank you very much. Welcome to all the butchers, bakers, and candlestick makers out there. I'm Ron, your host, and the only true conservative in the United States today. Who is the false conservative? He's the man that thinks the way the left wants him to. He thinks that he is conservative because of his position on the issues. He is traditionalistic and reactionary. He is dogmatic and therefore makes the same mistakes over and over again. He pretends that politics shapes culture. He apes the left. He takes psychological, conversational, and social cues from the left. He's movement-oriented and thinks that to defeat the left, you must think and act like the left. The false conservative has just as much desire to reform the U.S. as the left. The faux conservative thinks that the socialist problem is solely political and top-down, that one merely needs to elect enough conservatives and presto, the problem will automatically be solved. Examples of false conservatives are George W. Bush, the Lincoln Project, Mitt Romney, and Senator John McCain. This podcast is not about convincing your politician to do a better job, but to aid you in shaping American culture. The efforts to defeat socialism must recognize that culture informs politics and acts accordingly. The podcast is short, approximately 5 to 10 minutes long, because shorter podcasts are easier to download and listen to. The biggest socio-political influences in my life are my parents, my teachers, Ayn Rand, and Dr. Mortimer Adler. My podcast is made available through Spreaker and can be heard on iTunes, Spotify, Google, and YouTube. Today, where do we stand? What can a true conservative do? Quote of the day, positive news, and how to think about Joe Biden's latest gaffe. All that when I come back. Thank you. Where do we stand? Jill Biden continues to be the most evil woman in America for allowing her husband's campaign to continue. The campaign is designed to mock the president, the election process, and the American people, and make a fool out of her husband in the process. The communist flu continues to rage with no vaccine yet on the horizon. Businesses and schools continue to be locked down, and the rioting continues. 1.763 million new jobs were created in the month through mid-July, marginally stronger than the 1.6 million average forecast. The majority leader in the Senate has said that the Senate will remain in session until a bill is produced. The Senate was due to go on August recess at the close of business today. When I come back, what can a true conservative do? What can a true conservative do? Use the left's tactics against them. For instance, student athletes in the Pac-12 have made a list of demands recently. They have health and safety as well as political and financial demands. What the students are doing is from Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals. More specifically, they are not letting a good crisis go to waste. The death of George Floyd has created a socio-political crisis in many parts of this country that the student athletes are trying to take advantage of. The thing is that anyone can be a radical, and therefore anyone can use the rules that Alinsky has outlined. The Pac-12 can make counter demands, maybe demanding that in exchange for agreeing to the student athletes' demands, the student athletes must actually graduate. If the student athletes want to be paid, then they must graduate in order to get their money. Or demand that in order to get their money, they must refrain from paying for, if they're a man, or getting, if they're a woman, an abortion. Or that they must study and pass a test about American history, real American history, not the crap that Zinn is peddling. Or they must stand for the national anthem. Whatever. Use your imagination. Make counter demands. Next up, quote of the day. thank you. The quote of the day comes from dailyscripture.net. Take, Lord, and receive all my liberty, my memory, my understanding, and all my will, all that I have and possess. You have given them to me. To you, O Lord, I restore them. All things are yours. Dispose of them according to your will. Give me your love and your grace, for this is enough for me. Amen. No other so-called conservative even mentions Jesus Christ, much less says a prayer, yet every one of them claims to be a Christian. Coming up, good news. Thank you. From investing.com. Quote, the U.S. created 1.763 million new jobs in the month through mid-July, down from a revised 4.791 million in June. While that was marginally stronger than the 1.6 million average forecast, and while it was a relief after an alarmingly weak report on private payrolls from earlier in the week, it still pointed to a clear loss of momentum in the labor market last month. Unquote. Up next, how to think about Joe Biden's latest gaffe. Thank you. Yesterday, Joe Biden rebuked an interviewer when asked about whether or not he had taken a cognitive assessment test. Joe Biden asked the interviewer, who happened to be black, if he had been tested for cocaine before conducting the interview. Mr. Biden's remark played to two stereotypes. The first one is the drug-addicted, drug dealer black man from the ghetto, and the second one is the racist white man stereotyping a black man. All of the other so-called conservative pundits, including Rush Limbaugh and Hugh Hewitt, would immediately express their jealousy that the Democrats are allowed to act like racists, but the Republicans are not. Don't make the same mistake that Mr. Limbaugh and Mr. Hewitt make by realizing that the left's game in letting Mr. Biden's remarks pass without criticism is to help to promote the stereotype of the white bigot. Joe's white and therefore a bigot, they tell themselves and each other, but it's okay because he's our bigot. Back in a minute. Who is the true conservative? He's the person that has the courage of his convictions and is confident in what he knows. He is the person that understands that cultural conservatism is more important than political conservatism. He's not selfish, but minds his own business. He acts like an adult. He is patriotic and uses common sense. He expresses what he knows and does so with certainty. He makes judgments, refuses to speculate, speaks clearly and definitively, and is not afraid to say no. He's open-minded, asking why rather than why not. He's consistent, credible, and influential, not ashamed of his existence, unafraid to learn or correct his mistakes. He is a normal American, and he is better than the socialist. He's a better friend, father, brother, family member, and a better person, period. You have to know that. If you do not know with every fiber of your being that being a true conservative is best, then you're wasting your time. That concludes another episode of The Drill. Be honest, be smart, be beautiful, and always ask yourself, what is real, how do I know, and what should I do about it? I'm Ron, and that's The Drill.